Hello and good Sunday afternoon. Oh, gee, I just really plugged that one. Um, we are, let's see. Yeah, we are getting ready to stream again. Higurashi, When They Cry Who. And my name is Terrence Scotch, and I run the website Tev's Next Idea, where I turn all my solo role-playing journeys into stories that are there to entertain and there to teach systems and stuff like that. And you can check that out. That is over at tevsnextidea.blogspot.com. But what I'm doing here is, if you've watched for a while, or if you haven't, I am reading through the visual novel Higurashi, When They Cry. This is supposed to be a horror novel. Haven't seen a lot of horror yet. Have seen a lot of cuteness. Have dealt with having to voice 4 young female students. And I have heard recently, in talking to people about this, that there is not a lot of choices in this. It's more an experience, and that's what we're doing. So, good afternoon, Digital. How are you doing? So, again, I have the cute counter. There is one character that has ultimate cuteness, and or experiences ultimate cuteness, and every time that happens, we'll get a tick. As I've said it before, if bodily fluids start coming out of orifices, we'll give them 2. And I still haven't added the stream chat simply because, haven't had a lot of interesting chat yet. And when we have, it's been a little and far between. But we'll see how we'll continue to work on that. Okay, I am going to hit continue here. Last time we played, I continued into the next chapter without realizing it, and I stopped. So what I did was I did my best to kind of get back to that point in the game, and I still missed the key stopping point. But the beginning of this will be a little bit of recap from last time. And let's see here, where am I? Load. And load. Okay, so here we have 2 characters talking. I don't remember the woman's name, but the gentleman is Tamasaki, something like that. I don't even remember any of these names, but let's go. Perhaps you'll feel more like a resident of Hinamizawa after taking part in the festival today. I wonder about that. Okay, that's not like you. This is me. I had to get used to Hinamizawa, but there were still plenty of things I didn't know. The faces of people I'd met, for example. Things that had happened in the past as well. Oh. You're feeling left out because of something like that. It's not so much as feeling left out. It's just, I'm not sure how to say it. That incident at the dam construction site, the fighting over it, and other conflicts. That terrible incident they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinamizawa, it was wrong to want to know about both the good and the bad that had happened here. If it will put you at ease, then I'll tell you everything I know. Tomataki-san's smile made me more relieved than I'd ever been before. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said, "Ask me anything, though." Even when there was so much I wanted to ask. Then, could you tell me about what happened when the dam was being constructed? There was a big incident where Hinamizawa was going to be submerged, right? I think the locals would be more knowledgeable about the dam than I am. Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what I know. It's only what I read in the newspaper, though. Tomataki-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory, and then he spoke. Did I hit something? No. Okay, good. The decision to start the dam project was finalized 7 or 8 years ago. I heard it was the next major project after Kurobi. Uh-oh, I hit the auto. Let's turn that off. There were three major issues in Japan at that time: improving inter-island transportation. Stop that. Okay. Um, Infrastructure meeting and the higher demand for electricity and flood control. There was a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. Hinamazawa had the right conditions to support dam construction, so it was singled out. The dam reservoir would have covered quite a lot of ground when it was completed. The entire area, right up to Yaguchi way upstream, would be underwater. But why did they have to pick a populated area like Hinamazawa? Couldn't they have instead picked a place where nobody lived? I'm not really sure why, but I heard that it was just the right terrain for building a dam. Of course, there were protests here in Hinamazawa. Rika-san said that there was a battle. From that choice of words, I had to guess things had turned violent. There was a trial, and it was even brought up before the National Diet. It was covered in the Tokyo newspapers, too. Mion had told me all about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinamazawa had united to fight together. The feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle. As a result, bribery and scandals were brought to light. As things got more and more complicated, they eventually halted construction. If I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. I felt a little shame from the fact that I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Rena and Mion's refusal to talk about the event. Why was that shameful? But I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance. So, just so I would stop thinking about it so much. So, there was a dismemberment, right? There was. I happened to be here in Hinamazawa at the time, so I remember it well. Tomotaki's answer was nonchalant, in contrast to my hesitantly forced out question. It was about this time, 4 years ago. It was the day of Watangashi, if I recall correctly. Ooh, that's today, 4 years later. Debate on whether to continue construction of the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces, and each hid one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but 1 was still on the run. The right arm he'd hidden had yet to be found. The major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I read earlier. It certainly was a tragic event, but it wasn't so terrible that Rena and Mion needed to hide it from me. Unless they were involved. They're too young to be involved. I hope they're too young to be involved. I guess they don't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression of Hinamazawa. I felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shame for still being so interested in it. That has to be a trend. Why would you have shame for being interested? Well, I guess I could see that, but you're right. This type of story is very, very interesting. In fact, it's this type of story that we're actually even playing this game. It was near the end of all the trouble with the dam, you see, so everyone was saying that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. Oyashiro-sama's curse, huh? Oyashiro-sama was the name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recall correctly, from about 3 weeks ago. I see. Their guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinamazawa. Apparently, the younger ones didn't think so. But it seems the elderly in the village never doubted that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman with Tomotachi-san said with a mischievous chuckle. Tomotachi-san began laughing with her, It was so infectious, I ended up laughing it well. But I wonder now, there are quite a few, I think, amongst the youth too. A few what? People who believe in Oyasoka-sama's curse. The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern. Then after that, it continued every year? Always around this time? Continued? Continued what? Tomotaki-san paused for a second as if to build up some... Oh, okay. Let's try that again. Then after that, it continued every year, always around this time. Then there's me. Continued? Continued what? Tomotaki-san paused for a second as if to build up some suspense. Then he whispered it to me as if someone might have been listening. Every year, on the day of Watangasaki, somebody dies. Oh no. The year following the dismemberment, on the day of Watangasaki, a man from Hinamizawa who had supported the dam fell off a cliff overlooking some rapids and died while he was on vacation. Unfortunately for his wife, the body was never recovered. He supported the dam construction even though he lived in Hinamizawa? At the time, there were whispers amongst the elderly saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman chuckled mischievously again. Then, the next year, the night of the Watangasaki, the shrine Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog that night. The shrine Shinto priest... Oh, this is me. The shrine Shinto priest? You mean he was from the shrine here? The woman nodded. There was rumor amongst the villagers that they weren't able to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger. Then the year after that, again on the night of the Watangashi, they discovered the battered body of a local housewife. Housewife? Up until now, all these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam or who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. With that in mind, could the housewife have been involved in some way too? Exactly, the woman stated shyly. No, it was more menacingly. One of the victim's relatives, you see, was connected to the younger brother of the dam, supporter who fell to his death 2 years before. The younger brother is still alive, it seems, but it did bother him quite a bit, so he moved to the neighboring town. For a while, I stood there with my mouth agape. The battle over the dam's construction, with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murder at the center of it all? That was all I knew. And that was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. But I don't really want to believe in curses. But the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction. It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves. But when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as coincidence would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen without fail. I just said that. The woman chuckled again as if she picked up on what I was thinking, because everyone has ESP in this village, and they know exactly what I'm thinking. It felt like she was saying, maybe there was. Maybe we frightened him. Stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed Tomotaki-san to continue, a bit of impatience and irritation in my tone. Then? So, somebody died the next year, right? Who was it that time? I wonder. Who do you think, Keichii-kun? The hell? The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off. Don't avoid the question. I'm serious here. Hey, calm down, Keichii-kun. I realized when she... Hey, calm down, Keichii-kun. I realized when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking. We aren't trying to avoid the question, Keichii-kun. It's just when you say the next year, that's... Dun dun dun. That's today. When she hesitated to say it, Tomotaki-san finished for her. Okay, I'm not even going to go back on that one. I broke into a cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was headed. Nobody wants... Maybe I did one word on each person. Nobody wants to speak of it. But they all think it's going to happen again. Tonight. The festival was so cheerful, though. Well, the victim last year, the housewife, she was a non-believer. It turns out she didn't even attend the Watanagashi festival. Okay, good. Well, I'm safe then. I attended the festival. There was rumor going around that if you didn't participate in the festival, you would incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath. Didn't you hear anything about this, Keichii-kun? I never even heard a whisper of that rumor because I have closed-mouthed friends. Then the reason everyone was at the festival was they were afraid of the curse? Not because it was a great festival? That's the way. There we go. We just answered it. It is the organizers of the festival. They put this curse. They're the ones that are doing the killing so that they can scare everyone into coming to their festival. It helps the vendors. It helps the temple. It helps everyone. Case closed. On to the next game. I figured that must have been the reason. There were a lot more people at Watanagashi than usual. I guess everyone was just afraid after all of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where we've made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white television has been eradicated, yeah! And we've sent men to the moon. Even with all our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society? Tons of invitations were sent out to the neighboring town's youth groups to help pad the numbers. But after the string of events, few decided to join. The municipal committee members were complaining about how hard it was to gather participants. Also, the police are treating each case as an isolated. They don't believe they're connected. They're trying to keep it quiet, so it's all plainclothes officers. It finally began to dawn on me why Rena and Mion were reluctant to talk. If nothing happened during this Watanagashi, everything would have been over with, and I'd been none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up just being crazy talk. I should have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have had to act like nothing happened, and I would have been a sitting duck for whoever the murderer is. And we would have all gotten back to life as usual, minus one less Keichii. Maybe it was just too much for him after all. The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed. No, it wasn't. Not at all. I had tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasize how much the information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomataki-san appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, he then spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor. Keichii-kun, surely you don't believe in such things as curses. Well, no. If the causes of all the crimes were unknown with the perpetuators? With the perpetrators and their methods all mysterious, then I would think it's the work of a curse. But that's not how things are in reality. The police are investigating the evidence and suspects to uncover the truth. Hearing him say police made me feel a lot better. Thank you, Digital. I've just been texted that this story does occur in the early 80s. So maybe being excited about no more color TV is maybe a little more appropriate. Yet, still, color TV in the 80s, pretty much a standard thing. It was perfect for repelling the word curse. The first one, the dismemberment, for example, I told you, didn't I? All but one of the perpetrators were arrested. It's only a matter of time for the last one. The motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse. Don't you agree? That was true. If it didn't happen on the day of the Watanagashi, then I wouldn't think it was related to the curse at all. The accidental death of the man who supported the dam is the same. He was in a position that made others hate him. The police made a point of investigating from that angle. They concluded it was an accident, not foul play. But they both happened on the day of the festival, right? Ha ha ha! Just think about it, Keichii-kun. Do you think people with a lot of enemies here in Hinamizawa could participate easily in a local festival? It would be especially hard for them to be around during the Watanagashi. So they probably left Hinamizawa intentionally around this time of year to travel, don't you think? It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Tomataki-san was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions, even though I just said to myself, I really don't want to know anymore, so that I could convince myself. Then, Tomataki-san, what about that priest who died after that? The one with the unknown illness? That also happened on the day of the festival. It's even easier to explain what happened to the Shinto priest. The Watanagashi is a really big event that happens once a year. It was probably from all the built-up stress. Or it may have been because of a pre-existing condition. But it was an unknown illness. It's hard to believe something with an unknown illness could exist with all our advances in medicine. It's just an exaggeration. Rumors making rumors. Anyone would get worked up over having incidents happen 2 years in a row. The sudden death is quite unnatural, though. Of course, the police ordered an autopsy because of the strange way he died. But there wasn't enough for them to open a full investigation, you know? Turns out, it was just a sudden death due to illness. I'm taking that as the woman's role. The priest's wife committed suicide, correct? What about that? I believe I'd already explained that. Everyone was shaken by the incidents happening for a third year. Those who are of strong faith were quick to believe it was the work of the curse. Of course, that included the priest's wife. Apparently they found a suicide note that said something like, "My death will quell Oyashiro-sama's anger." Well then, how about the next incident with the housewife? That happened on the day of Watanagashi too. The perpetrator had already been caught, and the case has been closed. Turns out, it was just some nutjob trying to continue the legacy of the Hinamizawa curse. Here in America, we call it copycat. Then, how about the next year? Oh yeah, this year is the next year. I'm dead. Tomataki-san gave a hearty laugh. Nothing will happen, not this year. There was never a curse to begin with. It's just that a group of people believed It was the explanation for a string of coincidences. My internal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed by how childish I had become after losing control and panicking. I can see clearly now that Keichii-kun really does love Hinamizawa. Even if Oyashiro-sama's curse actually did exist, Keichii-kun couldn't bring himself to believe that such a thing existed. I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I'll greet Rena and Mion tomorrow with the same smile as Only's. Unless one of them is dead. They'd probably also like tonight to end without incident, so they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. They being Tomotaki-san and the unnamed woman. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening in stretched as she got up from the rock she was sitting on. Looks like she's standing to me. Well then, I should be getting back. Goodness, I think I may have gone on a bit too long. There were so few people compared to the crowd from before, I could only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool air. I looked at my watch. It seemed we talked for the better part of an hour. Didn't you come along with your friends, Keichii-kun? Not going to look for them? Oh, yeah. They might all be looking for me. Heh 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 heh. You're quite the scoundrel, making the girls look for you. They can't even do anything. See you, Keichii-kun. See you, Keichii-kun. Have a nice night. You too, Jiro-san. See you, Keichii-kun. Have a nice night. You too, Jiro-san. I'll see you a bit later. See, her animation opened her mouth. So that's the reason why I thought it was her. I'm defending myself. Okay. Tomotaki-san seems to be quite the scoundrel himself. So his name is... Oh, it is! Okay. Jiro is his first name. That was the woman. This is a confusing game. This is why visual novels are meant to be read by yourself and not spoken out loud to other people. After dusting off her backside, she disappeared into the crowd of people still busy cleaning up the shrine grounds. Music. Ah, Keichii-kun! So sorry. In her place, Rena came running over. I could see all the others behind her. Were they watching? Speak of the devil. What? Sakasura, whatever her name is here also? My bad, Keishan. We got so caught up in our discussion. I'd completely forgotten about them while caught up with my own conversation, so we were even. So Tomotaki-san was with you? This works out perfectly. We still need to settle the shooting gallery competition. Ah, that's right. So I guess I'm gonna end up dead last. Don't say that, Tomotaki-san. Do not say that. In the end, after my dramatic victory, Rika-san was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. The ones remaining were all tiny and difficult to hit. See, I missed the joke about them all being shut down. She did take her time and aim, but all 3 shots completely missed. She was to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomotaki-san. However, she did her little mewing cry in front of the owner, and he turned to mush instantly. She was given a pack of gum as a consolation prize. Her methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being the loser rather magnificently. Come to think of it, Rika-chan is quite the trickster. I have no idea what Keichii is talking about. Now then, it's decided that Tomotaki-san is dead last. Everyone cheered and applauded. Tomataki-san smiled wryly, slightly bewildered. We're all happy he's dead. So, Tomataki-san, are you ready? Penalty time. Oh, I completely forgot about that. You're too naive, Tomataki-san. This is why our club can never lose. Mion pulled a felt-tip marker from her pocket. Oh, it's that. Show him some mercy, Mion. At least use a washable marker. A permanent one? It's too harsh. Aha! It just has to be permanent. It comes off when you do the laundry anyway. Whoa, what is this? Please take it easy on me. All of us pinned his arms behind his back, and Mion approached him with the marker in one hand. On squip, squip, squip. But she didn't write on Tomataki-san's face. She wrote on the shirt he was wearing. Lucky. You better have your big break this year, Mion. Reina took up the marker next. Show me your photos next time, okay, Rena? These are the things that they wrote on the shirt. It was a little heartwarming, and I just had to laugh. Did I just say heartwarming? Okay. Haha! This is more like a farewell card than a penalty. Ho ho, I'm not as soft as the rest. I'll make sure this is a proper penalty. Oh. I don't know who that was. Ha ha! Dead last. Satoko. Okay, that was Satoko. They just broke up her thing in two quotes. Try harder next time, Rika. No, that's try harder next time, Rika. See, it's a little bit more squeaky than Rena is. They're both like really light and high pitched, but Rika should be a little bit more. Here you go, Keichii-san. I couldn't decide what to write, but based on what kind of penalty this was probably the most appropriate. Come back and play again, Keichii. Tomataki-san was silent the entire time. At first he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face. So, I have to wear this all the way back to Tokyo as part of the penalty? Of course! You better wear it all the way home. You could wear it when you come back. It would be nice. He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassment mixed with a wealth of other emotions made him turn a bright red. Understood. I'll wear this the next time I come here. I promise. Everyone cheered and applauded. And all we found left of him in his shack was a bloody shirt with a whole bunch of quotes written all across it. It was the finest parting gift possible for a buddy heading out tonight who must have taken pictures at some time of the killings. Or a clue. I saw the woman who was with Tomataki-san standing near the festival grounds. It seemed Tomataki-san noticed her too, and knew it was time to leave. To be killed. Seems like your guest is waiting. Isn't it about time? Yeah, that's certainly how it seems, ha ha ha. Tomataki-san headed off towards her and seemed to apologize for making her wait. Ah, hello, Mikey. Makai. It's good to see you here. I'm not a great reader, just so you know in advance. We all shouted stuff at Tomataki-san. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of the night out of sight. It was quite the casual farewell. This wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off. They had done the same thing many times before. He's gone. Well, it's about time we take off too. Rika-chan had to stay behind with the other committee members since they were having a meeting, so Toko was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. Ah, thank you. Yes, it is Mikey. Cool. Or Mickey. Is it? Texting, the big mystery of life. The walk back was quite lively with the talk of the day's war stories. Should have done this, should have done that kind of stuff. Rena and I parted ways with Mion, and then it was just the two of us. When we got back to my house, I parted ways with Rena as well. It's already pretty late. Are you all right by yourself? Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It's close, and I'm going to run, too. If you run into some weirdo, just yell. If someone does come, will you come and save me? Maybe? If I hear you. How? Okay. I'll scream loud enough so you can hear me. Merrily spinning her arms around at high speed, Rena dashed off. She was fine. In that mode, not even an adult could stand against her. Rena's cheerful presence disappeared, and it finally became quiet again. The curse that not a single person even whispered about. The more I learned about it tonight, the more unsettling it became. It didn't show on any of their faces, but they were probably all quite concerned about it as well. But if nothing happens tonight, then it all ends up just being crazy talk. Nothing will happen. Nothing bad. Nothing at all. What's wrong, Keichii? Why are you standing in a place like that? Come inside. You'll catch a cold. It was my mom. Did you go, Mom? To the Tanagashi festival? In the end, your father didn't wake up, so I missed it. A little disappointing. Mom stuck her tongue out with a bit of an embarrassed look on her face. Higurashi, when they cry. Now, so as not to make the same mistake I made last time, unless they go to notes. They are going to tips, so I do know this is the end of a chapter. Okay, view all new tips. So let's see what these new tips are. Ooh, we got 3. It's the 3 reports from the story that was just told. So, good. I can just kind of read these. I don't have to be too creative, I don't think. Haju's couple's falling incident. Let's start with this one. And if it's like before, it's going to be just newspaper reading, yes. From the June 1980 edition. On the afternoon of XX at 2 p.m., office employees retracted and his wife retracted of Hinamizawa Village in Shishibone Prefecture disappeared after falling 27 meters from the observatory platform in Shirakawa Prefecture. Police and the firefighters searched downstream and discovered the body of XXX at around 7 p.m. that evening. His wife, XXXXX, has yet to be found. Oh. The search has run into difficulties due to the effects of Typhoon 3 from the previous day. Now, I don't know if I missed that, but I didn't realize his wife was missing also. Maybe they said that, and I just glossed over that. But it appears a railing at the observatory that the X's leaned on had broken, causing him to fail. The groundkeeping staff was questioned by the police in regards to facility deterioration and if park maintenance was performed properly. And that's it. Yes. That was a nice, good, short one. The terminal illness and death of the Shinto priest Furude. Now, he has a name, Furude. He's not XXX. His name is not redacted. Or maybe it is. From the June 1981 edition. On the afternoon of... June of the day of the festival, around 10 p.m. Oh, there you go, Andrew. 1981. Good. Okay, so we did establish this is in the 80s. In the ex-district of Hinamizawa Village in Shishibone Prefecture, the Shinto priest of the Furude Shrine passed away after an existing condition he was recovering from suddenly worsened. Okay, that's not his name. That's a shrine that he's a member of. Parties close to the deceased said he was suffering from anxiety issues concerning the festival, which was to be held that day. Also, after the priest's death, his wife, XXX, went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. The police and local youth association continued the search. However, given the presence of the farewell message and the fact that the Onagafushi Marsh is said to be bottomless, they have run into difficulties. Being asked, this is why I need to put the chat up on the stream so it's there for future people to read, but I'll do that next time. Okay, was this translated from Japanese? This is what Meikai had asked, and she said they say it sounds translated. It probably was. Andrew, you know more about. You've looked into this more than I have. I'm sorry, digital. So if you do know that answer, you can let me know. I don't know the history of this game very much. I am playing it because I'm interested in it, but also because it was gifted to me, and I am playing this so that that person, digital, can actually see me do this, since they're not here with me. Housewife Murder. Original work is by a Japanese author. This is the translation from the Steam version. Okay, thank you, digital. And if you haven't noticed yet, I am probably butchering every Japanese word in this, but that's okay. It wasn't reported in the... Okay, this is the housewife's... was it the suicide or the murder? It wasn't reported in the newspaper. And it's that quickly and that done. Housewife murder. Okay, housewife murder was not reported. Huh, that is interesting. That the housewife's murder, which was a big event, was not reported. Okay, well, we are here at 42 minutes. I know this is a little bit shorter than usual, but I also have a shorter period of time this time than I normally do. But this was great to get back into this after so many weeks. I will try to be a little more regular, but once a week. As it turns out, my usual Saturday night event, which is when I usually do this, I got one more tip. Okay, is it? Oh, thank you, digital. See, I got distracted by the newspaper articles there. I will finish that in a second, but I will just I will read that in a second. But let me just finish my thought. My normal Saturday tabletop gaming night is on hold for a little while, so I might have a little bit more time to do this. But let's read the radio log. And there's an arrow. Maybe there's even more, but I assume there's not. This is Okinoma Station calling Unit 3. Unit 3, please respond. I gotta do that. Yeah. This is Unit 3. Loud and clear. Backup is heading your way. Hold position until further instructions. Over. Roger. Unit 3 acknowledged. Requesting no headlights. Requesting radio silence. Station, the doctor has arrived. They want to carry it away. What's the order? Over. Acknowledged. Leave it to the doctor. Affirmative. Understood. Backup has arrived. Shouldn't we let them take a photo first? I think the Vic is done for. Okay. I'm going to interpret this. It was not reported in the paper, and that was the actual police call sending police to the housewife's murder. See, I'm smart that way. There is no more objects there. Okay. So, that about wraps up this edition of Higurashi When They Cry Who. Just again, if you are interested in tabletop role plays and role-playing game, I do post all my stories over at my Tev's Next Idea website. The address for that is listed on the home screen of this Twitch page, on my main Twitch page, but it's tevsnextidea.blogspot.com. So like I said, I post all my role play stuff over there. You can do that. And I also have a more serious faith-based blog over at half-air.com, because as in my instruction, I am a Christian who plays video games. And we're glad you're here, but if that is not your belief, I would suggest that, possibly things you have heard of God might not be true. And I would suggest that, you look for some good resources, and I have some listed right on Half Air to the right, and there's a lot of other good sources out there. But that's just my little PSA. But thanks for watching, and I look forward to continuing this maybe next week. Thanks for stopping in, Mike. Hi. You are, I think, my first non-family member to come by, so very glad you're here, and thanks, Digital, and I will talk to everyone later. Thanks for watching. This is Terrence. Bye.